The day was terribly cold. It had snowed, and the evening was dark on this last day of the year. A bareheaded and barefooted poor little girl walked the streets. She had left home with slippers, but they were hand-me-downs from her mother and way too large. Both slippers were lost as she jumped to avoid two carriages that rolled by dreadfully fast. Despite her naked, freezing feet, the little girl walked on, her matches bundled into the old apron she wore. Nobody had bought any matches from her the whole day, yet she crept along trembling with cold and hunger. Candles gleamed from the windows of homes she passed, and the air smelt deliciously of roast goose on this New Year's Eve. But the little girl wouldn't return to her home. She hadn't sold any matches, so her father would certainly beat her if she returned without any money. Besides that, it was a cold house. So she sat on a corner wall by two houses, her feet drawn in as they grew colder and colder. Her little hands were almost numb from the cold. She thought, "Do I dare remove one match from the bundle and light it to warm my fingers?" She drew one out. Swish! The flame was bright and warm. It was wonderful. The little girl felt as though she were sitting before a large stove as she held her hands over the flame. It was so delightful. She began to stretch out from the warmth, but the little flame soon vanished. She held the remains of a burnt-out match in her hand. She lit another match. It burned brightly, and the wall behind it became transparent, like a veil, so she could see into a room. A table was topped with a snow-white tablecloth, porcelain plates, and a roast goose with its stuffing of apples and dried plums. It was a feast to behold, and even better when the goose hopped from the dish and reeled about until it came close to her. But the match went out, and nothing remained but the cold, damp wall. She lit another match. Now there was a wonderful Christmas tree. It was larger and more decorated than the one she had seen earlier through the glass door of the rich merchant's house. Thousands of lights were burning on the green branches. The little girl stretched out her hand towards them when the match went out. Now the lights of the tree rose higher and higher. She saw them as stars in heaven as one fell down in a long trail of fire. Somebody has just died, she thought. Her grandmother, the only person who had loved her, had told her that when a star falls, a soul ascends into heaven. She lit another match. This time the little girl's grandmother stood before her, bright and radiant, and with a wonderful expression of love. "Grandmother," cried the little girl, "oh, take me with you. You'll go away when the match burns out. You'll vanish like the warm stove, like the roast goose, and like the magnificent Christmas tree." Quickly, the little girl lit the whole bunch of matches, wishing to keep her grandmother with her. The matches were brighter than a noonday sun. Her grandmother was so beautiful and tall. And with that, the grandmother took the little girl by her hand, and both flew into the sky away from the cold, hunger, and pain. They were with God. But now, in the cold hour of the dawn, sat the poor little girl with rosy cheeks and a smiling mouth, leaning against the wall, frozen to death on the last eve of the year. She wanted to warm herself, people said, but no one had the slightest idea or could have dreamed of the beauty the little girl had seen that eve and the splendor she had with her grandmother as they entered the new year.